Hytale's been out for a few days and we've all been playing it, but is the game too unfinished or is it perfect for early access? Now don't get me wrong, everyone is loving Hytale from the looks of it. Loads of creators are making videos on it, even the biggest Minecraft creators like DanTDM, they all seem to be loving it. I haven't seen much negativity surrounding it, but I think we have to be honest, the game is in the state that we expected. There's a lot of things that need to be worked on, but also there's so many positives that I think people also didn't expect. So let's talk about it. First, let's talk about Hytale's movement. I think Hytale's movement is one of its strongest aspects in early access. I think the movement feels very snappy and quick. It's amazing for traversal. The weapon traversal with the daggers is some of the most fun I've had in the game so far. But with that being said, I don't know if this movement is the most easy to use when trying to build. It doesn't feel as practical just because you go so fast and you jump quite high. So that's one negative of the movement. But I think how fun it is during the fighting is what makes up for that. Now let's move on to the more important stuff. These guys are the worst thing to be added to the game. They're the bane of my existence. Everyone on social media seems to agree that they're the most OP mob perhaps in the history of gaming. They do so much damage, they can jump a million blocks away. The amount of times I've died to these guys when trying to explore a lava cave is just insane. No, but jokes aside, they do need to nerf these guys. That's something that will probably happen in the next few days if it hasn't already by the time you're watching this. Another issue that I think Hytale faces is the need to have to craft about 8 different workstations for individual things. For example, we have the tools workstation to craft some tools, we have the weapons workshop to craft the weapons obviously, the armor, you get the idea. This is a lot more similar to Terraria, where we have different workstations where you can craft different things and then you have to upgrade them as you progress through the game. To be honest, I feel like I would prefer a mix of that and Minecraft. I don't want to have to use 8 different workstations because 1, it takes up a lot of space, 2, it's annoying, and 3, there is no 3, it's just annoying. Please, I think we should have maybe 4 or 5 max, but there's like 9 of them. It's not a huge deal, so I'll move on. Another thing that I have noted down whilst playing Hytale is how much the stamina system is better than the hunger system in Minecraft. In Hytale, we just have to eat food whenever we need to regenerate health, and we can simply just keep running and we don't need to worry about restoring our saturation or things like that in Minecraft. But with that being said, I don't think the food feels as rewarding as it should feel. I don't know if we get enough regen or health restoration from eating the food that we may like. Yeah, I'm guessing that late game there will be better foods which will do that for us, but at the start of the game I feel like I was needing to eat a million different berries just to get my health back up to full. Now let's move on to what I think is Hytale's biggest strength, and I think that's their combat and their PvP. Now, I haven't exactly done PvP, but the combat I can already tell that it's going to make for an extremely fun PvP experience. With the amount of movement that you can have with these weapons and the special abilities, it's just so fun and dynamic. But with that being said, it also does have its problems. You can simply block any attack essentially just using your daggers and pressing right click, which is a slight tad OP, but I think they're going to tweak that. The devs already know that that's an issue, but without that, I think the PvP is probably Hytale's strongest aspect just because of how fun it makes the game. Another couple things that I have noted down whilst playing Hytale was that the horses / the mounts do feel a bit weird. I don't really like how they move around, so I didn't really play with them too much. But then again, I think Hytale has just added the dinosaurs, which I'm yet to try, but I hope that they feel a lot better with movement wise. Another thing is that the mobs are often as fast as you for some reason. I don't know if that's just me, but I've caught myself running away a couple times and the mobs simply just catch up to me if I'm not using like an ability with my daggers to get away. But that's not too much of a problem. Another thing I actually wrote down in like my first hour or so is I wrote the game is hard, or maybe I'm just bad. And I think it just led to the second one, because when I eventually got some armor and some better tools, the game did feel a lot easier. So I don't think the game is too hard, especially because I haven't played that many hours. I think it's the perfect difficulty. The final thing I just wanted to add is that there are a lot more work in progress signs than I thought. In that place with all the Quebecs, it's just filled with them. There's pretty much nothing you can do, but the area does look amazing. So when they fix all of that and allow the NPCs to be able to trade, it's going to look beautiful and it's going to make for such an immersive experience. But with that being said, I think Hytale has had a great early access launch. There's a lot of hype around it. Yes, it has some things to be tweaked, but that was expected, and I think it exceeded a lot of people's expectations. If you made it up to here, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'll be dropping a lot of Hytale content in the coming days. Peace.